All right. Here we go. All right. Got the sound going on. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Heat Check live music review show right here on YouTube. I want to give a shout out to all the producers and artists who submitted for this week's show. Definitely appreciate your time. We're going to have a very good broadcast today. Looks like we're just doing mostly producers this show, artists. I don't know why I didn't get any submissions, but hey, it's all good. Maybe I'll catch you guys next time. So yes, if this is your first time at the Heat Check live music review show, my name is Desmond A. You might be wondering, who am I? Why am I doing this? Well, my name is Desmond A. I'm a producer. I've been producing music for over 12 years now. Have music on different networks like eTelevision, Sci-Fi, Tubi, Discovery. I think I said eTelevision. I've also worked with different independent recording artists out here in the Atlanta area. I've recorded artists. I've mixed artists. I've sold beats in person. I've sold beats online. I have a podcast where I interview major producers in the music game, Made in the Studio podcast. You can check that out right here on my YouTube channel or anywhere that YouTube or anywhere that podcasts are played. So I do a little bit of everything. That gives me perspective. That gives me a lot of perspective and a lot of value to give you guys each time I do the stream. So that's who I am, why I'm doing this stream, and how you can benefit from it. So here at the Heat Check, a couple of ground rules. You know what I'm saying? We have to have things in order. So here at the Heat Check, there's no snapping, there's no roasting, there's no tearing each other down. This is not the broadcast. This is not the show for people to get their giggles off. You know what I mean? This is essentially like a dojo. You ever been to a dojo? You ever been to a boxing gym? When you're there, does your boxing coach, does he say, man, that was a weak jab? And then just sit up there and giggle at you? Does your sensei say, man, that was a terrible front kick? He sits up there and then starts snickering at you? No, he says, come here. Let me show you how to do it right. They give you the game, they give you real actionable steps, and they help you improve. So that's what we do here at the Heat Check. We're here to give you real information. We're going to give it to you straight, but we're here to help you improve. So if you rock out with that, then make sure you keep staying tuned to the show. All right. And ladies and gentlemen, also, guys, all the producers out there, if you're cooking up beats on MPC or what are you guys using these days? Machine or Ableton or anything like that. I've recently dropped my FL Studio for Beginners video, FL Studio getting started. So if you guys are looking to transition over from those other DAWs into FL Studio, because you've been seeing all the different videos of your favorite producers cooking up in it, go ahead and check out my recent video right here on my YouTube channel. I'm going to give you a rundown on FL Studio, how things work. It's going to be a little confusing if you're coming from Logic or anything like that. Check out that video. A lot of good game, a lot of good information. I just dropped that one today, so make sure you guys check that out. And yes, next Friday, there will be no show next Friday. So you guys gonna go out there, you're gonna celebrate the holidays, Labor Day weekend. So shout out to you guys. When you're out there Labor Day weekend, man, make sure you have Shazam on you. It's a good app. So if you have Shazam, you're out there with your friends, your family, you hear a melody or something, hear something you like, go ahead and whip out Shazam, record it, and, you could maybe find a song to sample when you're out there really feeling the energy of the people. That's what we make music for. We make music for the people. So when you're out there and engaging with everyone, make sure you're doing that, because you could possibly find some type of gem. I remember my interview with Juke Wong on the Made in the Studio podcast. He mentioned that he does that as well, Shazam things, because you never know, inspiration, and even different genres. You could just find a track that from a different genre that can give you inspiration to try something new. So definitely, guys, make sure you do that. All right, and shout out to the chat. All right. We got ADB Productions in the building. We got Voteezy, and we got Tafara. Oh, okay. Tafara is starting things off right. Tafara came in with the
new VIP.
He's wanted to go ahead and skip the line. So shout out to you, Tafara. So yeah, we can go ahead and get started here. Let me get everything pulled up. All right. We got Voteezy in the house. We got everyone in the building. All right, let me make sure I got Tafara here in my system. All right, there we go. Got you, Tafara. Okay. All right. So yeah, starting the show off on a good note. All right, so let's go ahead and get started, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go ahead and start off with Tafara. Let me go ahead and get into FL Studio. Let's go ahead and do that right here. Right here. All right. Here we go. We got Tafara submissions right here. All right. Perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, we are starting this show off right. We have Tafara with the VIP Skip the Line. We're going to start off with his first beat. It's called Is This Love? All right, I'm going to go ahead and play this beat. mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Tafara's first submission with the VIP Skip the Line. That one was called Is This Love? Shout out to you, Tafara, and thank you so much for joining and submitting right here on the Heat Check. All right. Now, Tafara, that one felt a lot more like a beat for a recording artist. I believe it was our previous show. That I was mentioning, you had a really good beat with a whole lot of good elements, but it felt like somebody else is going to have to kind of structure it and put things together for an artist to really make a song. This one I felt was much more coherent, much more cohesive, and really gave me a vibe of an actual artist can actually make a song to it. As a matter of fact, the entire time I was listening to the song or listening to the beat, I was literally hearing Burna Boy's voice on top of it. So, hey man, keep this beat. Hey man, I don't know if you do post your beats as type beats on YouTube, but once again, guys, you never know who's searching. These artists are in the studio. They might be platinum artists, but hey, they got access to the same YouTube, and YouTube's algorithm is very advanced. So you never know who might come across that YouTube type beat and like, oh wait, let me listen to this. Oh snap. Oh, I could do something with this. So hey, you never know. That's you could get some placements that way. One of my former guests, Ben Mari, on the Made in the Studio podcast, he does type beats, and I believe he got a couple placements that way. So hey, you never know. Excuse me, guys. As far as constructive feedback, one thing that happened is when we got into the hook, you got to the I'm a piano type of bass sound that came in. That kick was a little too aggressive. I know what you were trying to do. You're kind of trying to create this type of tension, this type of it's almost felt like urgency with what you did with the sounds there, which I really like that. But that kick, it was just a little too aggressive. Oh, it it was kicking at me instead of like kicking with the music. So watch that kick is really the attack of the kick. I don't know if you use like a wave shaper or something, but the attack of that kick when the I'm a piano bass came in, like watch that. Um Also the horns, when we got towards the end of the beat, the horns were a little too loud. If the music was coming at me and it wasn't like flowing with me. Typically when I hear that, it's like we're in the studio, we're vibing out with our music playing, probably up there dancing, moving around, really feeling the music. And when we have our music loud, sometimes that could play tricks on our ears and we can't really tell how loud certain elements are. So in your studio, Tafara, please, I know you're enjoying your music, but sometimes listen to it at like, conversational volume and then just kind of listen to the music. And then if you hear that horn real loud, you're like, oh, that's really poking out. That's really too high. Then you can go in, just pull it down. You might need a little compression on that horn too, just a little bit. But yeah, just go ahead and pull it down. It's not so it won't come at us. It's gonna come with the music and help the feel. So yeah, those are really the two main points of feedback for that particular beat, Tafara. And this one, especially since it feels more artist oriented, please, whenever you have time, put a deadline on your calendar somewhere and, make sure you post, just get a picture of Burna Boy or Wizkid, whoever is one of the most popular people. And then you can make it super simple, make a type beat video. I believe you can do it in CapCut too. However, but just put it out there and forget about it. Put it out there, forget about it. Then, you never know who can come across it. Okay. Perfect. So shout out to you, Tafara. Shout out to you. Thanks. I appreciate your feedback. Yeah, I listened to your advice last week on the horns. I wanted to surprise the listener, but yeah, it makes sense. All right, perfect. All right, now we're going to get to the second submission from Tafara this week with the VIP Skip the Line. This one is called This one's called The End. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Tafara with the end. Shout out to Tafara. Shout out to Tafara. What's going on, Millie? Shout out to you. Got Millie Beats in the building. Looks like Millie's over there turning up, dancing to the tunes. All right, Tafara, man, that beat was definitely fire. That's that feel good music that has that international appeal. Just about everyone can get up and move to that type of music. That's very good vibes. The thing is, so that felt good, it sounded good. There's a couple things here. The thing is, this almost it doesn't sound like this song at all, but this is overall giving me this kind of vibe. So the kind of vibe that I'm kind of getting from this, once again, it's not a one-to-one comparison, is I'm kind of getting vibes like Pharrell's Happy. Like I could feel like Pharrell or someone like that possibly getting on a beat like this. So hopefully, maybe Pharrell, uh, you never know. Maybe Pharrell will hear this and hit you up. The thing is, it's like it's good, it's musical. S- At times, let me see here. It's like one of the only things that was kind of getting me at times was like the feels that you had going on, the almost like church drummer feels. It sounded good, but let's try not to do that too much. I feel like we maybe only needed like maybe twice in this track because I want to keep it once again more on path with like something like Pharrell's Happy, how it's like has that energy. We're not going too church drummer on it. Like that part is fine. I would kind of watch how loud that woo and that volume is a little loud, so kind of watch that. So I'm essentially kind of wanting to take a track or a beat that's really musical and kind of simplifying it down a taste bit more for mainstream sensibilities, for mainstream ears. So I think a songwriter could definitely make a song to this. I'm just like, I don't want this to get so musical where it's like a mainstream ear won't really understand it too much. So only thing is I'll say is watch those church drummer feels. Try not to do that too much. The intro is pretty good, but I think there's certain parts further in the track that we kind of want to watch that on. Um, Also the breakdown that we had over here. It's almost like maybe this. See right there, I feel like this could be the breakdown when we just have the drums here. Hey ladies, if you like how it's doing, and put your hands up. You see what I'm saying? We could even do like a call and response on that breakdown. If the artist is, hey ladies, yeah, if you some tonight, So I think that the whistle part we could maybe just take out and then just go straight for that drum breakdown. So then the artist could just jump in and do like a call and response. Hey ladies, and then we get back into the musical part for like the hook. And that's pretty much it, man. It's just about just turning it, simplifying it a taste more. But the overall beat is very fire. Sounds really good. I think as of right now, a songwriter can definitely write a full song to it, but they're more than likely they're gonna be in their DAW, kind of like just taking out certain parts so they don't get overwhelmed by the beat. So good beat, man. I think that track could definitely go somewhere. So definitely keep it in the track, keep it in the stash. And once again, man, whenever you have a moment, just put a FL Studio, excuse me, Pharrell X Burner Boy type beat, put it on YouTube, and man, you never know who's gonna come across it, man. People will gravitate towards a track like this. It's very refreshing. So shout out to you, Tafara. Shout out to you, man. Definitely keep this beat. Promote it, promote it, promote it. Man, it sounds really good. Sounds really good. You are welcome, Tafara. You are welcome. Shout out to you. Oh, what's going on? We have double. Okay, we have Double I Beats. Shout out to you, Double I Beats. What's going on, man? Happy Friday to you as well. Happy Friday to you as well. So yeah, man, we started this show off right with the VIP Skip the Line, man. Tafara came in the building with the very, very musical vibe. So that is how we want to do the show. All right, we already knocked out Tafara here. I'm just gonna put a little note here. We're gonna start at the top now. All right. All right, all right, all right. Now we're going to get to the free cue here, starting at the top here. Ladies and gentlemen, we have ADB Productions with Guard Chill Vibe Type Beat. All right, shout out to you, ADB Productions. I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's take a listen.
ADB Production.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was ADB Productions. I always mess that up, so that's why I say it so slow. Y'all, they thinking something's wrong with me? No. It's ADB Productions. Shout out to you with Guard Chill Vibe Type Beat. All right. Now, ADB Productions. The thing is, I like your drum selection, the good 808, good hi-hat, good snare. So all those were good. The only thing that was getting me about that beat was basically the melody. So it had a nice chill vibe, but it's almost like I wanted the melody to evoke more emotions. And a couple things that got me with that is one, like the piano felt a little bit robotic. It almost like, let me see here. Let me open this up. It's almost like I could hear the chords just basically like locked on the grid however you had the chords going, and it just felt robotic, like just one chord, next chord, next chord. And so it felt a little bit robotic. And also the piano sound itself, I feel like maybe you could try something different. Um, some good pianos. Uh, a VST that I like these days. I don't know if you guys, the subscription stuff. I know people feel a way about subscriptions. Everything is a subscription these days. This is pretty cool. It's okay. This is giving us like those classic Korg, excuse me, not Korg. Um, what Roland sounds. It's giving us those old Roland sounds. So let's. So that sounds like a pretty decent piano. SRX keyboards by Roland. It's in the Roland Cloud Suite. If you want to, subscribe to it. I know a lot of producers do addictive keys that has some good piano sounds. I think I kind of lost my point there. So what I wanted to point out here with the keys being directly on the grid, sometimes it can lose like its feel. So I don't know what DAW you're using, but you could do the strum effect in FL Studio to make it sound a little more human, a little less robotic. That's option S on Mac to open up the strum. So it moves the notes so it's a bit more human. Doesn't sound like so robotic. And on PC, that should be Alt S, and that's gonna open up the strumizer. You can make your stuff sound more human if you're using FL Studio. So that's a VST you can use and a technique you could use. But one of the main things that I'm kind of hearing with that is I feel like the chord progression in itself could also evoke more emotion. So I tell a lot of guys who kind of have issues with melodies to take time to get on YouTube and just look at different tutorials of some songs that you like. Honestly, a lot of really good feeling chords that some of you guys like and the songs that you really enjoy. Sometimes they're really basic. They're just basically like a bass note moving around on the left hand on the keyboard, and it could just make things just feel so different. So, take some time to just learn some of your some basic songs that you like, songs that are not too complex, and that could open up a whole new world. And kind of, you'll know what like D minor is on the keyboard, or C major, B minor, things like that. And that could just help you in your mental Rolodex when you want to pull out certain emotions whenever you're cooking up beats. And it's just a cool thing to kind of just take out your back pocket whenever you're cooking up. You're like, okay, I want to resolve this right here. I'm going to hit this chord like this. It's going to make me feel this way. So I think that'll also help out. So overall, drums are good, but it's just like pulling out the emotions from the melodic elements. I feel like we could push more, and that's an area of development, moving forward if you're, looking to grow and whatnot. So shout out to you. ADB Productions. Shout out to you. All right, let's take a look at the chat. Okay, using Ableton. Okay. Ableton, man. I see some people cooking up in Ableton, man. Ableton it's really not, it is different than FL, but all DAWs these days are pretty capable. So even if you're using Ableton, I believe Ableton has like a piano roll. You can even do something like this. Just kind of zoom in, and with the chords, you can. I'm sure in Ableton they have something where you could like slide the note off the grid a little bit, and then you could just give a slightly more human feel. Sometimes this isn't necessary. Sometimes it is. You just kind of got to play it by ear. So, yeah. I'm telling you guys, like, some of the most basic songs that you hear on the radio, learn them, and you'll be surprised how easy they are. They just sounds like it's complicated, but when you sit down, you're like, oh, I'm just putting these 3 fingers there. So, yes. All right. Moving forward, we have another submission here from ADB Productions. This one is called Post Vibe Type Beat. All right, I'm going to play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's take a listen.
ADB Production.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was ADB Productions with Post Vibe Type Beat. Shout out to you, ADB. Thank you so much for submitting on the heat check. Now, ADB, that beat is essentially giving me the same vibe, the same feeling as the previous beat. It's like you have good drums, nice vibe, but it's like the melodic elements is what's really getting me. It's like the chord progression is really basic, like dun 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 dun, and it's like I almost feel like you can keep the drums, mute the melodic elements, and then come up with something else on top of the drum pattern and the 808s and things like that, because those parts are fine, but the melodic elements just need to be worked on more. So it's like almost like you might, I don't know if it's like a certain comfort zone that you're in, because I know I was there in the past of just being comfortable with certain chords, but I needed to push myself more. So I think as of right now, it's just about learning different chord progressions to pull out the type of emotions that you're aiming for. It's like I can see what you're going for, but the melodic elements just are like off of the bullseye. It's not hitting the bullseye. It's just slightly off. And I know what you're trying to create, but we just have to like refine and develop the process to actually hit the bullseye. So once again, I would say get on YouTube, look at different tutorials there's a zillion tutorials. Today I'm going to show you guys how to play this song by so-and-so, and just watch like, okay, that's that chord, and that's that chord. Oh, and that chord makes me feel like that. And like what is going on here? If I just move one finger on the keyboard, it feels a little bit more, gives me a little bit more tension. Why is that? And I think the processes of learning just basic chord progressions are going to push you to an entirely different level, because you have the drums down, but the chord progressions, a little bit, I think we could be a little bit more, do a little bit more with the sound selection of the melodic elements. But I think that's kind of putting the cart before the horse. I want you to get into those tutorials, man. I think that's what's gonna push you up to the next level. So shout out to you, ADB Productions. Shout out to you. Keep going, keep grinding. I see the potential. I see where you're heading, and you know, that's all we got to do, man. So do you have a keyboard, ADB Productions, or do you use do you click in your melodies, things like that? I think regardless, different piano tutorials will help out. You are welcome, ADB. And ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you go to DesmondASounds.com to get free FL Studio Patcher plugins, free loops. You guys want to try something different? Get you some Spanish and Afrobeat guitar loops. I got them right there at DesmondASounds.com. And also, ladies and gentlemen, I forgot to mention, I have my FLD Bass, FL Studio Patcher plugin back for free on my website. So go there. It's a very fire plugin. And yeah, enjoy. I had it paid for a while. I decided to make it for free. So FLD Bass, somewhat similar to R Bass by Waves. And once again, it's a FL Studio Patcher plugin. So that's for FL Studio users only until I can develop my own plugins, which is the next thing on my to-do list, is to develop my own plugins for you guys. All right. Okay, you got a mini keyboard, but you mostly click. Okay. Cause I've been there before. So if you have a mini keyboard, I would still try to find piano tutorials, and like try to find different chords that are mostly built off of triads, meaning three notes in the chord, and just learn like your like suspended chords, diminished chords, major chords, minor chords, anything that could be in a triad. And you could be a triad assassin, you know what I mean? You could be a triad assassin. Okay, Munchie. Shout out to you, Munchie. I appreciate you. For getting the Afrobeat guitar loops, man. Man, that I can't lie, man. That golden Afrobeat guitar loop pack that Munchie you got, there's some loops in there that kind of blow me away. I'm like, damn, that sounds good. It's great. I'm not just saying that because it's my pack, because like, if you get on like Splice and places like that, you're not gonna find loops that sound like the golden Afrobeat guitar loop pack. So guys, you can get that one. That's a paid loop pack. It has a lot in it. Golden Afrobeat guitar loop pack. Please get it. DesmondASounds.com. Man, that stuff sounds really good. Sounds really good. I'm like, dang. So yes, Munchie, shout out to you. And shout out to you, ADB, and shout out to ADB, and shout out to everyone in the chat. All right. So moving forward, we have Munchie the Beat right here on the Heat Check. I'm gonna go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's take a listen.
Munchie the Beat.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Munchie the Beat with Ghetto Commandments. Commandments. Shout out to you, Munchie, and thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. All right, all right, all right. Hello, we have Doreen in the building. We have Tafara in the building. I would love the ambience that you're using for that to pay. All right. So Tafara is asking Munchie some questions there in the chat. Okay, so now, Munchie. So for that beat, it's a couple things that are going on here. So for this particular beat, this is kind of something I learned a lesson from this is back when I was an intern. I interned at a studio called Tree Sound Studios in Atlanta years ago. This was super long ago. And one of the interns there, I kicked it with a couple times, right? And this is one thing I learned from the intern is I went to his studio, went to his crib, went to his studio, and he showed me really the importance of totally feeling the drums. Meaning when the music is muted and you're just listening to the drums, how does the drums make you feel? Just really sit there, mute the music, mute the instrumentals, and listen to the music and listen to the beat, listen to the drums. And do the drums send a message? Do the drums make you feel a certain kind of way? Like what kind of energy is it pulling out of you? I'm a person who's always leaned more on melody, but that was a lesson I learned from him. Shout out to you, Ephraim, if you're watching this somehow. Shout out to you for teaching me that lesson. So that being said, with this particular beat, I felt like the drums were kind of sending one message and going in one direction, and the melody was kind of going in another direction. So it was having a difficult time kind of flowing together. So what I would do is I would mute the instrumentation, listen to the drums, and get into the drums. And once you listen to the drums, listen to the feel. And what do you feel that the drums need next? I always say, let the music communicate with me. I always have a conversation with the music whenever I'm creating something. And I'm like, I don't know what to do next. I need the music to tell me what to do next. So that's something I want you to get into the habit of. Listen to the drums. Well, at least in this instance, this is not a default to do on all your music. Listen to the drums and then ask yourself, what does it need next? Because I want you to be able to layer on the music what it actually needs, because the drums and the instrumentation are going in separate direction vibe-wise. It's just not flowing together. It feels like, I want to say clashing, but the only analogy I can think of in my head right now is like, I'm standing right here. Another person is standing across from me, and we're trying to have a conversation, but other people are talking, and they're kind of crowding in the way, and I can't quite make out what the person is saying. So it's like I'm not having a clear path to the communication, and it's like, it's for me to get more specific. I kind of felt like the 808s was a bit all over the place. I feel like we can mute that pad, that background pad, not the high pad, but like the whole. Okay, so this is another thing that I would say, Munchie, is have this beat and have like a couple other beats from producers you like, kind of the vibe that you're aiming for, and just kind of listen critically to the sound selection from that other producer. What kind of sounds are they using for the melody? How's the music making you feel? It's like, let's like really get into student mode and dissect what that other producer is doing. I know sometimes ego wise, we want to feel like we're creating our own super unique sound that nobody else has, or, you know, nobody else is going to make, but we're all students. So I want you to get into that student mode and kind of dissect elements. Okay, I'm listening to this track by Metro Boomin. Maybe instead of being in awe and how, you know, powerful it feels, like why is he using brass? Okay, that brass feels good against that 808. Okay, then he's adding a bell. What is that bell doing? Okay, that bell is adding a certain amount of tension. Okay, what's happening in my beat? So going in student mode is also gonna help you out a lot. As far as actionable things, I feel like the kick is a bit loud. The kick is a bit louder than the music. So let's dial the kick down a little bit more. Yeah, it's just this beat needs more focus and direction. Those are really the two. Those are really the two things that are jumping out at me. So yeah, shout out to you, Munchie. That was a very long, very long feedback. I just like to give game, guys. So sometimes I kind of get caught up in the trance and kind of lose track of time. So yes. Shout out to you, Munchie. Let me take a look at the chat here. All right. What did I use? Okay, Munchie. I have a VST with a bunch of sounds. I totally should tweak the drums for sure. Also, the sound selection, pound pads, different feels to them. Pound and these reverb. Yeah, yeah, Tafara, I hear, yeah. I'm not, yeah. Because a part of me is like, part of me almost wants a different piano sound, but yeah, we can try reverb. Let's see. All right, you are welcome, Munchie. You are welcome. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Shout out to Tafara in the chat as well. Oh, I apologize, everyone on TikTok. Okay, so it looks like we got Millie Beats on TikTok. What you doing on TikTok, Millie? You're supposed to be over here on YouTube. And shout out to everyone on Twitch as well. All right. Moving forward, we have another beat by Munchie. This one's called Bodies Bucks. All right. I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's take a listen.
Munchie, the beat.
right, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Munchie the Beat with Bodies Bucks. Shout out to you, Munchie, and thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. Now, Munchie, I know what direction you are going in on this beat. Let me play it again a little bit more. Yeah, I know what direction you are going in musically with this one. One of the things that stood out to me on this one was the 808. Looks like on around one of the turnarounds, it sounds like the 808 is out of key. So we're going to open let me make sure I get the right one. We're gonna open up sound shifter, and let's see. The 808 is out of key. So we're gonna pitch the beat up an octave. Apologize, some people don't want their beats mangled, so I apologize. But we're gonna put it up an octave and let's listen. Out of key. Okay, so as you can hear, whenever we pitch the beat up an octave, it instantly exposes itself. The human ear has developed to hear higher frequency sounds much more sharply, and that's why I do that. And to this day, when I'm cooking up, I still pitch up my 808s up there and make them sound that high pitched, so I know for sure whether or not they're in key. Even I want to say one of my Made in the Studio podcast guests, I don't know if he does this himself because he's a keyboard player. He may. OG the 3, he's a keyboardist and producer for a lot of the top people. He had an episode on my Made in the Studio podcast. Make sure you check that out right here on my YouTube channel. Click on the podcast tab or listen anywhere that podcasts are played. Made in the Studio podcast with Desmond A. Yeah, he mentioned that that's the thing that he recommends to people as well. So I knew I was in good company since I've been giving that gem out for a while. So yeah, whenever you're cooking up a beat, just jump right in there. Jump right in the piano roll. You feel like the beat is done, go right in the piano roll, and then just go ahead and pitch up the 808s wherever they're at on the piano roll, and then just highlight, pitch them up. And then if that's not high pitched enough for you to really hear, pitch them up again. You're going to hear them sound real high pitched like it was there a second ago. If it's not right, a lot of the times I just have to come in, take things down like a half step. I thought it was here, but it was actually here. Feels better here. Then I drop it back down. Does that feel right? Nope. I thought I had it. It was actually here. Then drop it down. Bam. That's perfect. So then you're going to feel it like, oh, okay, it feels a lot more in lockstep. It feels much more, has a much better flow. So yeah, especially since this was a pretty melodic beat. It had a good melodic horn section, and then you have the guitar section there. So we definitely want to watch the in-key 808s with a track that's so melodic. Also, another thing here is this is kind of a taste thing, but I was hearing a snare to kind of like tie in the percussion part. So let's see if I have a good sound. That's a little loud. Let me play it down a little more. I was hearing like this. So yeah, I was hearing a snare in there. So if you can add a snare like that in the track, it just feels like it'll kind of tie in that percussion part frequency wise. And if you want that snare, just DM me on my Discord and I'll drop the snare to you. So guys, make sure you join my Discord in the description so you guys can communicate with each other, DM each other on some collabs. You like how this producer did that, you like how they did that, jump in the Discord. In the welcome section, you'll see everybody's name. So, go in there, collaborate, share sounds, and vibe and grow with each other as well. And other than that, Munchie, I think let me hear. Let's see what else. I like that guitar part. I think once having your 808s in key does so much musically. I think once we get those 808s in key, that's gonna really fundamentally put it where it needs to be, like for the most part. Maybe like a couple tweaks here and there mix wise, but I would say after you get those 808s in key, maybe add the snare, you should be good to go. But yeah, definitely has potential. I was hearing like maybe Travis Porter. You guys remember that group, Travis Porter, from out here in Atlanta? I was hearing them on this track. So shout out to you, Munchie. Thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. All right, let's take a look at the chat. All right. Let's see. Always appreciate that. Yeah, different piano for sure. Munchie, do you have a beef with reverb? Let me hear. Where you hearing? Where you thinking? Munchie should add reverb to Farah. I'm curious on that one. If you were speaking about the second beat, yeah. So yeah, Munchie, that was pretty much it for that beat, man. Please continue to submit on the Heat Check, and I'll be glad to help you on your music production journey. And ladies and gentlemen, if you guys need additional help, guys, you see the link there in the chat if you're on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, you can see up top on the little ticker. Make sure you book a one-on-one Zoom coaching call. I'll be glad to jump on Zoom with you, take a look at your DAW, see what you got going on production-wise. So if you need additional help, you don't want to wait for the show, you want to be able to actually communicate with me one-on-one. I did a one-on-one consultation with a big content creator in our space, somewhat in our space, not too long ago. Paid for it. It helped me out a lot. So if you guys want to do the same thing, then click on the link, book a Zoom one-on-one coaching call. And if you guys don't see it, it's www.desmondasounds.com/coaching. Jump on Zoom, figure it all out right there, and give you all the gems that you need. So if you guys want to do that, make sure you do that, because that is most definitely not going to be an option forever. But yeah, I just want to help you guys out. So shout out to you, Munchie. Shout out to you. Man, I gotta stop rambling, man. I'm supposed to jump in and out on the feedback, man. I just be getting locked into the music, but it's all good, guys. It is all good. All right. Moving forward, we have iCream Beats with Fallout. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's take a listen. right, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was iCream Beats with Fallout. Shout out to you, iCream Beats, and thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. iCream Beats, man, good beat. You definitely, I like the drums, man. You actually had sub bass to your beat, man. Nice round sub bass, man. Sometimes I think I'm tripping. I'm like, why am I not hearing those low sub basses these days? Am I tripping? But no, you actually had it right there. Nice low sub bass, nice round. It's really gonna hit the speakers hard. That was kind of giving me like Drake. If you're reading this, it's too late vibes a little bit. You know, that dark kind of sound. It kind of has that unique tone to it, almost like you're driving somewhere in the middle of the night. Like you can really capture the aesthetic and the texture of the scene through the music. Man, other than I really didn't hear too much on this one. I didn't. Let's see. It could be argued that the intro is a bit long. Yeah, the intro could be cut down a little bit more. Yeah, so yeah, I really don't have too much feedback for this. I don't want to invent feedback. This is already pretty good. And you know, since this does have the views kind of has the, if you're reading this is too late vibe, Drake album type of vibe, you know, there's certain like real intricate things that I've heard on some of the background percussion as far as like the hi-hats and things like that on that album. So kind of check out that album, iCream Beats, and really listen to some of the background percussion and how they play with the rhythm in there, man. Those producers are really good. Particularly, I believe Wonder Girl, she got a track on there. And, you know, of course, Boy Wonder, he has a lot of music on that album. Yeah, listen to those background percussions on that album. Just hear how tension is made. This is a nice, cool vibe. This is a nice, cool bounce. But listen to that album. See if you can kind of take a couple pieces to really play with the listener's ear and the tension that happens in the body with those kind of tricks that they were doing. But shout out to you, iCream Beats. Thank you for submitting on the Heat Check. All right, let's take a look at the chat here. It sounds like lo-fi. Let's see. I meant the intro brass reverb was too dry. Yeah. The guitar was behind. Yeah. Okay. Referring to Munchie, sounds like lo-fi. Yeah, okay. I hear where you're coming from on that, Tafara. Yeah. I kind of liked how Munchie's guitar felt a little bit behind, but I can't see where you're coming from as far as blending it a bit more, having things just blended a bit more. I hear where you're coming from. Sounds like lo-fi, but not meant to be. I hear where you're coming from. Okay, yeah, that's a fair assessment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have have I been saying it right? Is it Ice Cream Beats? Oh, I've been saying iCream Beats this whole time. That's crazy. All right, I apologize, Ice Cream Beats. Dang, this whole time I've been saying iCream Beats, Ice Cream Beats. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this is Ice Cream Beats with Broken. I'm gonna play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's take a listen. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Ice Cream Beats with Broken. Shout out to you, Ice Cream Beats. Thank you so much for submitting on the heat check. Wish you would have corrected me, man. I've been calling you Ice Cream Beats this whole time. That sounds crazy. But Ice Cream Beats. Ice Cream Beats. All right. So yeah, Ice Cream Beats. It's a good beat. I'm noticing you starting to really have like your own thing, your own vibe. And as you continue to develop that, it's gonna be more in demand. Artists, especially artists at a certain level, certain independent artists, they want to have producers that they can kind of go to when they have a certain type of inspiration, a certain type of vibe. Maybe something happens in their life, they have a conversation with someone, and then they think of that producer, and they'll either go to their beat store, they'll go to their YouTube, they'll hit them up for more beats. And you're on that path, you're on that track of having that niche kind of sound, you know. I would say Dancing Maine. Dancing Maine kind of has his own sound, especially when he does his hip hop sound. Dancing Maine, I haven't seen you in a while. Dancing Maine, please let us know you're good. Let us know you're safe. Please submit on the heat check again. Yes, Dancing Maine submitted on the heat check quite frequently, and I'm getting that same type of vibe as far as a producer with a certain distinct sound that people are gonna go to. So definitely keep developing your sound. One thing that I was hearing in that beat, it sounds like that kick had a bit crusher on it. It had this weird, almost it's like that sharp bit crusher sound. I don't know if you put some type of bit crusher plug-in on that kick. Sounded a little strange. If that little buzziness on the kick, if that's baked into the sound, we're gonna just EQ it out. Let's see. Yeah, that sounds strange. It's you could just dip it out. You could dip it out. Ice Cream Beats. If it's baked into the kick, just come into your EQ, and it sound like it's around. Sound like that's around like 3K ish, like around this area. So you could just probably go into your DAW, then just dip it out a little bit. You could probably dip out a lot. That's only if the that weird buzziness is baked into the kick. Otherwise, just turn off that bit crusher effect you have on it. Yeah, other than that, man, once again, you're creating your own distinct sound. Keep going, keep getting gems from other producers that you admire. Even though you're on the track of really creating your own sound, never get too comfortable. You always want to push yourself to get better and better. And it sounds like that's what you're doing, man. So keep going, Ice Cream Beats. Keep submitting on the heat check. Hope you're posting your beats online somewhere so artists can find you. And yeah, keep grinding, man. You're growing. You're getting your own sound, man. All right. And let's take a look at the chat here. All right. Bar 5-6 almost made me cry, man. Y'all got too far. You getting too far choked up, man. Getting too far choked up. Painful samples. They hit my soul. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, man. You never know, man. You know, Dirk is on trial, man. You never know if Dirk comes out, he might want a beat like that. So y'all post y'all little Dirk type beat somewhere on YouTube. You never know, man. If he comes out, he might hop on YouTube on the way back home. Who knows? All right, ADB Production. Shout out to you. All right. So moving forward, speaking of producers with their own sound, we have Voteezy in the building. Shout out to you, Voteezy. Shout out to you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Voteezy with Maniac. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's take a listen. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Voteezy with Maniac. Shout out to you, Voteezy. Thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. All right. Now, Voteezy, don't have to tell you that that's another fire beat. You already know the beat is fire. One thing that I was hearing is, like, I like that you had that real weird kind of like water sounding synth going, like, that sound, and at the same time you had that brass sound. That when at that part we have the hard brass sound and that watery sounding synth going. Let's see if I can find it. That's fine. It's like right here. At that part right there, Voteezy, when things get like really aggressive, if I can get for you to pull down that brass part just a little bit more and just let that watery sounding synth kind of win, almost like I want us to sacrifice that brass part a little bit for that watery sounding synth, because that sound is it's not something you hear too frequently. It's almost like to me, it almost reminds me of sound I would hear in something like Reason or something like that. It's not like a common sound I would hear. So if you can pull down that part and let that part win, I think that's going to help out a lot. Because a rapper I was thinking of in my head when I was listening to this beat, one of my favorite rappers, you probably know him, Voteezy, since you're from his same city, is Finesse 2 Times. And Finesse 2 Times has a big voice with a lot of character to it. And, you know, I would want to have that watery sounding synth win a bit more, and then we could just feel the energy of the brass. And then, of course, we'd have like a big husky voice like Finesse 2 Times, just taking up a whole lot of the sonic space. But that's really it. It's just about sacrificing a little bit so another sound can win, and then the artist has like a clear path. But other than that, drums are good. Drums are fire. Everything else is fire. You know that. It's just, you know, we just want to have that space for the recording artist, because sometimes producers with a lot of talent like Voteezy, once again, it reminds me a bit of, you don't have the same sound, but it reminds me a bit of Johnny Giuliano. It's like so much talent. Sometimes we have to like dial little elements back a little bit here and there for the recording artists to do their thing. So shout out to you. Shout out to you, Voteezy. Oh, can you hear it? All right, there we go. Thanks so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. All right, let's take a look here. All right. We are good to go. And shout out to everyone on TikTok. Can I engage? Nah, got to get that fixed. Shout out to everyone on TikTok. Shout out to everyone on Twitch. And shout out, of course, to everyone on the main platform, YouTube. All right. Moving forward, ladies and gentlemen, we have another submission here from Voteezy. This one's called Jim Carrey. I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's take a listen. right, all right, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Voteezy with Jim Carrey. Shout out to you, Voteezy. Thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. I played that beat a little bit too long, so apologize for everyone else in the queue. Voteezy, of course, another good beat. With this beat, I'm wondering, like, it works, but I'm wondering why you didn't like keep it like this, like just building off of that part instead of going to this part. Like, I like hearing that as a producer. That sounds really good to me. I'm just wondering, like, the flow of a recording artist on top of this beat. Like, once it switches, like Voteezy, if you're in the studio freestyling to it, do you feel like you have a clear path? Do you feel like you could flow smoothly on top of it? You know, oddly enough, I was hearing Moneybagg Yo's voice in my head, but I was listening to this track. You know, he had that sample beat Waukesha. It's really sample heavy, and that's probably part, and it has that good bounce. So that's probably why I thought about that track. But I'm wondering if we could even maybe create like a Jim Carrey 2, a part 2, where it just goes from the intro and you just like because this is kind of giving me like more like Scarface type of vibes. Like I can hear Scarface rapping on this part. Oh, I could hear Scarface's voice loud in my head now. Yeah, that's a really good beat, Voteezy. So if I can get for you, keep this version, you know, you like it, keep this version. But let's have a Jim Carrey 2 in your stash somewhere and just, you know, keep that main sample part and just, you know, if you want to put like a low pass filter for the hook and add a little music here and there for the breakdown. But I feel like we could have that, you know, carry really essentially the main musical elements of the beat. You can even market it as like a Scarface and Moneybagg Yo type beat, or Scarface and Finesse 2 Times Back type beat. So whatever, however you want to do it. I can even hear this version like chopped and screwed in my head. So, you know, yeah, I would just definitely have like a second version of this. Once again, as a producer, I like to switch up, but I think for a recording artist, we would just want to keep that main sample part. But shout out to you, Voteezy. Thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. All right. Yes, Voteezy is definitely a pro. I appreciate that. Tafara as well. Yes, Voteezy got some crazy beats, man. Crazy beats. But the thing is, with Voteezy, the fact that he does have crazy beats, I've seen artists in the studio, and I it's weird because we have producer ears, and I've seen artists in the studio go to really basic beats, and I'm like, I want to make sure that when Voteezy's interacting with certain types of artists, or even going to the studio, and then, you know, maybe dropping off beats. You know, Memphis has artists and whatnot. Memphis has a bubbling hip hop scene. I don't want Voteezy to be like, why didn't they, you know, hit me back? My beat is way better than those other guys. So that's why I kind of try to put on the artist hat so we can have a clear path for them. So yes, automation as well. That'll be cool. Tafara, automation. All right. Moving forward, we have JVN World with 23 All right, I'm gonna go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's take a listen. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was JVN World with 23. Shout out to you, JVN World, and thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. Now, JVN World, I want to try something on your beat here. I'm going to open up Sound Shifter by Waves, and I want to make sure that your 808s are in key. Those are real subby 808s. I know we've had issues with your 808s being in key, so I'm gonna put you on blast a little bit. Let's see. All right, let's take a listen. No, so the 808s are still going out of key. It's just that those were real low subby 808s with not much character in some of the harmonics, so I couldn't really hear what was happening. I thought at first that it was probably in key, but no, once I put Sound Shifter on there, I had to I could tell that they were out of key. I said put you on blast, just tongue in cheek, but you know, we're all here to learn, so had to do that. So like I said before, you know, guys, don't be too proud to pitch up those 808s. Make sure that they're in key. If for some reason, if you're using a laptop or something where you just can't hear those low sub frequencies, try to invest in some headphones so you can actually hear better. But pitching things up, if you can hear the melody, you can hear the 808s when they're pitched up. So push them up an octave or two if you need to. Make sure they sound good, and then put them back down in the proper octave so you can hear what's going on. Also, JVN World, the melody itself was really basic. Dun 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 dun. It felt like it didn't really go anywhere. It was like almost too simple. I'm not sure if that's like some type of loop, but it sounds like something you probably played, some type of VST going on. Again, guys, try to learn. I'm not saying you gotta become like Chop Squad DJ or Brian Michael Cox or anything, but just learning how to make very basic chord progressions is going to help you guys out so much. So when you have a melody like this going and you're like, I want this melody to kind of move me a little bit more emotionally, you'll know where to go, or you can even like feel your way around. Like, okay, I want to go here and I want to go here. Okay, I like the way that feels. And just learning how certain notes and certain chords go together, it's just going to help you out a whole lot. I haven't Unfortunately, I haven't practiced much lately, my own. Um, but so much still sticks with me as far as melody and chords and things like that. A lot of like the chords kind of slip my mind these days. Um, but I still know how things flow melodically. So just putting in the time, putting in the work is going to go a long way. And also, quiet as it's kept, it's helped me in the studio pick out when certain singers are out of key or certain elements are not quite flowing together. So exercising your ear is going to go a long way. Just YouTube, basic pop songs, basic songs on the radio. It's going to help you out a lot, but you guys just have to put in the time. I know you guys, if you don't have time, one thing that I used to do is have a timer on my web browser. Sometimes I would literally only have 15 minutes to practice. And if that 15 minutes is all I have, then that's all I have. And once that timer goes off, then I'm done. So force time, concentrate, and get that practice in. So sometimes you don't have an entire hour. Sometimes it's literally 15 minutes. But 15 minutes over the span of weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks adds up, as opposed to waiting until the perfect time to do something. Sometimes you just have to execute 15-minute window, and over time it's just going to grow and make you stronger and stronger. All right, so let's work on those things. Let me hear something. Do I hear anything else on this? I feel like we could have like a bit of a punchier kick. The kick could be a little bit more present to match with the snap of the snare. The kick is kind of down here. The snare is kind of up here. I feel like we can either pull up the volume or just swap it out for a punchier kick. Let's have things more balanced with each other. But shout out to you, JVN World. Thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. All right, let's take a look at the chat here. Let's see what's going on. Let's keep a style with it, but I got you. Definitely make a part 2 for you. All right, shout out to you, Voteezy. Appreciate you, Farah. I still got some work to do, but I'm getting there. All right, all right. Yep, shout out to you, Voteezy, man. Definitely got some fire, man. Fire beats all around, man. Definitely got some fire beats, man. You flipping them samples. You got I remember, I think it was like last week, you had the Young Jeezy, TM 101 kind of vibes going on. So yeah, man, keep cooking up. I can't wait to hear the second version of Jim Carrey whenever you have a moment to put it together. So shout out to you, Voteezy. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, moving forward, we have Millie Beats with Honeys. All right. Shout out to you, Millie Beats. I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's take a listen.
God damn, Millie, you're not.
right, all right, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Millie Beats with Honeys. Shout out to you, Millie Beats. Thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. All right. Millie Beats, another West Coast, smooth West Coast groove that we come to expect from you. Of course, the first artist I think of whenever I hear your beats are YG. Hey, maybe one day we'll get a YG and Millie Beats collab album. You know, you never know. That being said, you know, of course, I was hearing YG's voice on it. You know, one thing we've spoken about behind the scenes, Millie Beats, is sometimes let me say this, you've definitely grown melodically. When you first started, you were having clashing sounds and I believe out of key 808s at times. So we've passed that phase. Now you have a smooth, consistent sound, nice vibes, we know what to expect from you. And we want to, you know, like we spoken about outside, off the record, well, not off the record, but behind the scenes is the melodic elements. And one of the main things for me was like just really the main chord progression on this just felt felt like we could have did more. Like I like the elements, I like the drum selection, I like how you had like the background sound panning, that all that was good. It's just like even when we listen to the main Rhodes piano.
God damn, you're not.
Like it's cool. That's a cool foundational chord progression, but we definitely need to experiment and get you a bit further so we can grow that, so you can even create more tension. You can evoke more emotion. Like this is good. I definitely could hear a West Coast artist jumping on this and making a song to it with no problem. But if we want to take things up to the next level, definitely you need to experiment with different chord progressions. Millie Beats, did you ever let me know, or Millie Beats, are you in the chat? Millie Beats, did you ever let me know if you have a MIDI keyboard? I don't believe you answered that question, Millie. I could be wrong. I could be mistaken. But Millie, if you have a MIDI keyboard, please, guys, even if it's not a genre that you really like, maybe it's like a real kind of cheesy pop song, just get in there and practice. Like, just make sure it's a simple song and just practice those chords, because I promise you, sometimes just adding one finger on the keyboard could just create a whole bunch of new tension for you. Okay, Millie Beats. Oh, yeah. Okay. So Millie Beats, you do have a MIDI keyboard. Okay. So yeah, there's a book. Oh, you don't have a MIDI keyboard. Oh, okay. Okay, you don't have a MIDI keyboard. Okay, you don't have a MIDI keyboard. So we need to improve your melodies and your chord progressions, but you don't have a MIDI keyboard. So a lot of producers these days are, okay, you're gonna buy one to practice with. Thank you. I have a book. It's in my Amazon. It should be in my Amazon link in the description on YouTube. Whenever you look at my Amazon list there, linked in YouTube, there's a book that I bought years ago. It teaches you, like, it's called like the basic book of chords. Now we have YouTube. Shows how old I am. Well, I'm sure YouTube was out back then, but it's a really good book on just learning basic chord progressions. If you want to get that, I'm not sure if they ship to your area, but if you want to get that whenever you get a MIDI board, that helps out a lot. If you want to learn, can you learn chord progressions by clicking in? Like, I see producers do it, but I don't know if I could recommend it, because it's like, I want you to learn the quote unquote right way and then kind of click in as a substitute. Like, I'm 90% sure that Voteezy has 95% sure that Voteezy has some type of MIDI keyboard, and it shows in how the articulation of a lot of his melodies. Voteezy might be clicking in, but I really, really doubt it. Young Jeezy is a big inspiration. Yep, Voteezy. Yeah, I could tell. Yeah, man. Young Jeezy definitely got fire. So yeah, I'm kind of all over the place right now, but yeah, just learning those basic chord progressions. So whenever you have a chance, Millie Beats, yeah, sometimes you just lock in a corner, open up FL Keys or whatever program that you're going to use for the piano and just learn those basic chord progressions. It's going to take you a very, very long way. And it's just going to open up a whole new world for you of just controlling emotions, controlling tension, making people feel a certain way whenever you want to. So, yes, definitely. But in the meantime, you can check out some, I guess, YouTube tutorials on different chords, but that it really doesn't make sense if you don't have a keyboard. I can't really recommend that until you get a keyboard. So, yes, the next step is the keyboard, then practice, 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 and that will open up a whole new world of music production for you, Millie Beats. Shout out to you, Millie Beats. Shout out to you. All right. Moving forward, we have Millie Beats with Swag. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's take a listen.
Goddamn, Melly, you bad. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Millie Beats with Swag. Shout out to you, Millie Beats. Thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. Now, Millie Beats, another solid West Coast vibe, West Coast beat from you, man. Nice and smooth. With this beat has so much space in it, and the chord progression is, really basic, really standard, that I'm thinking the recording artist who gets on this beat is going to have to somewhat carry more melodic elements than maybe they normally would on this. Like, I can hear us stacking vocals like in certain parts for the artist coming up with different chorus ideas or something. I'm just gonna make something up on the fly. Let's see. Let's get to the hook. something, something, something. I'm just doing my thing. Something, something, something. Then I'm doing my thing. Something, 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 something. That something, 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 something. And then just stacking that vocal with like a whole bunch of like a lower harmony, mid, and high, so I can hear a whole bunch of space for an artist to just come in and have the engineer stack their vocals real high because it has a whole bunch of space, and then they can even play with melodic elements with their voice. So their voice, the artist would really have to use their voice as an instrument, like really intentionally go in and say, I'm going to stack all these vocals for the hook or certain parts in their verse in the hook just for emphasis. And this beat has the room for it. So on one hand, I'm wanting more. But on the other hand, I'm hearing the artist being leaned on more to like add to the beat. Like they're I don't want to say they're adding production, but they're really going to be adding more to this beat than an artist normally would on an instrumental. So we would have to hope that an artist would have a vision for that. They would have the foresight to do something like that. If not, then this is something that you would have to coach the artist into actually doing. You'd have to kind of spoon feed this idea to the recording artist. So since you're typically just emailing stuff, you could, or DMing stuff, if you're pitching this beat to a recording artist, then I would even like lean on there. I would say, hey, I got this beat called Swag. I just had this idea in my head. I left a lot of space for an artist to jump in and, you know, stack a whole bunch of vocals on it or do some cool melodic tricks on the beat. We might have to. What's a good song that does that? I can't think of a song to reference right now. If I think of one, I'll definitely remember to bring it back up. But it's just an artist would have to add more melody to it with their own voice. But yeah, I can't think of anything right now. As far as the beat itself, I could hear like the high. Hold on. I would pan that open hat, pan it on the other side, because a lot of your higher frequency percussion is all on one side. So pan that open hat on the other side, so it can create more of a balance. It just feels like a little bit imbalanced. So let's pan that open hat the other way, and it's going to create more balance. Yeah. So yeah, cool beat, but we're definitely going to have to lean on the artist more on that for. Man, I'm trying to think. Can I think of a song? What is a song that an artist is rapping and then they'll add like a stack of vocals somewhere melodically? I can't think of it right off the top of my head, man. Dang, I hate it when I can't think of stuff like that. I typically can, but I can't in this case. But yeah, I'll definitely keep this beat. I would pitch it to a recording artist and yeah, see how that goes. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, yet another successful and fun Heat Check live music review show. Here, looks like we had all producers this week. On the next show, we're more than likely should hopefully have some recording artists show up as well. Next Friday is Memorial Weekend, so we're skipping Labor Day weekend. So we're skipping next Friday, but the following Friday we will have a show. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the form for the Friday after next. No pun intended. The Friday after next. So you guys can start submitting for that show. As you cook up, just send it over to the form. Give me about 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes. I'm going to make a community post letting you guys know you can submit for the Friday after next Friday show. So guys, have a good break. Cook up some beats, take some time, develop. Really, really get in there, study some stuff. And if you're gonna be moving around this Labor Day weekend, then man, make sure you got that Shazam on you. You never know what you can find out when you're out and about. You're just in the supermarket, out with your friends, you're out with family, or you're just kicking it out the house. You're just going from place to place, man. Just, you never know what you can be inspired by. Yes, go ahead and ask your question, Millie Beats. One question. For the other heat check, can I send you a song and 2 beats from the same email? A song and 2 beats? We need to do just 2 submissions. So you could do a song and a beat, or you could do 2 beats, however you want to do it. But let's just have 2 submissions. 2 submissions is the limit. So yeah, let's do it that way, Millie. So just decide however you want to do it. A song and a beat, 2 beats, a song and a beat, however you want to do it for that, for the heat check. So just, we'll do it that way. All right. ADB Productions. Shout out to you. Have a good holiday, good break, and guys, keep cooking up. Other than that, guys, please make sure you go to DesmondASounds.com to get FL Studio Patcher plugin, free loops, free guides, and of course, I have my premium loop pack, the Golden Afrobeat loop pack. It's very fire, very fire. You're not going to find sounds like that anywhere else. I'm telling you, you're just not. Also, guys, if you haven't checked out any of the previous Made in the Studio podcast episodes, make sure you check that out on break. I'm working on getting some new guests for September, so hopefully we'll have that soon. Also, guys, if you need additional help, make sure you book a Zoom one-on-one coaching call. I'll be glad to hop on Zoom, take a look at your DAW, see what you got going on, and help you out all at once so you can get all that value in one swoop. Okay. All right, and ladies and gentlemen, also make sure you check out my latest video on my YouTube channel, especially for you guys who are coming from other DAWs. You want to know how to use FL Studio, have this FL Studio for Beginners video. You guys are liking it so far. Back-end analytics looks real good on it, so I'm glad that you guys are enjoying it. So check that out on the break as well. So I will not see you next Friday. I will see you the following Friday. So guys, y'all be safe. Y'all have a good time. Enjoy your break. Keep cooking up. And I'm going to open up the form, make the announcement on my YouTube channel shortly for Friday after next show. So I will see you guys soon. Y'all be safe. My name is Desmond